Are you looking for an athletic scholarship? You're in the right place. This is the Recruit Me Athletic Scholarship Podcast, the longest-running podcast on recruiting and athletic scholarships. We're here to help your family navigate the recruiting road all the way to an athletic scholarship. He's a recruiting expert and a dad of a D1 athlete and a high school athlete pursuing a scholarship. With a wealth of experience to share, here's Recruit Me CEO, Brent Hanks.
Welcome to 2021, and even though 2020 was different, the Athletic Scholarship Podcast was filled with many helpful recruiting subjects. My goal is to keep giving the student athlete and their families the information they need, and the push they need to get the opportunity to get to play their sport in college and get a scholarship. The Athletic Scholarship Podcast is one element of Recruit Me. Recruit Me is a place you go to get educated on college recruiting. If you visit recruit-me.com, you can sign up for a free recruiting power pack. The power pack is a great way to get your feet set and start your recruiting journey. Other Recruit Me resources are two books, the Athletic Scholarship Playbook and the Athletic Scholarship 24-Month Planner and Journal. These are two inexpensive resources that will save you time and money in your quest for an athletic scholarship. The kingpin of Recruit Me is the Recruit Me 3.0 Athletic Scholarship System. This is a comprehensive step-by-step system that includes 200 pages of helpful information and videos and audio that walk you through the process. Instead of spending thousands of dollars on a recruiting service that will just ask you all the same questions that you can just do yourself. The recruiting process is a family affair, so let Recruit Me give you the step-by-step tools to get you on that campus that's right for you. The Recruit Me 3.0 system is only $127, and you can instantly get access to get you started right away. Go to recruit-me.com/system. Now let's get into episode 231, Polar Express Inspired Recruiting. Christmas and New Year have come and gone. As we just celebrated Christmas, some of us had normal family gatherings, and for others it was a different or strange holiday season. On Friday, December 18th, I tested positive for the COVID virus. Parker and my mother tested positive a couple days later. Sutton and my wife Lori and my dad tested negative, so we all had to quarantine through Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Luckily, none of the virus symptoms were too bad, and we all got over the symptoms a few days after Christmas. Our normal family dinners and present exchanges and fellowship was altered, strange, and put on hold. We did celebrate Christmas and New Year's on the day after New Year's, and Parker headed back to college on January 4th. As we quarantined, we got to watch a lot of TV. I mixed in some holiday shows with some Netflix and Prime binge watching. One of the holiday shows we watched was Polar Express. Polar Express hit the theaters in 2004, and Sutton was 1.5 years old, and Parker was 5.5 years old at the time. So our families were really Polar Express fans, and we still are. Parker got the magical sleigh bell for Christmas that came in the special North Pole box. There were many wonderful scenes in the movie, and I remember a quote from the conductor, played by Tom Hanks, not related that we know of, to the hero boy of the movie. This quote hit me back in 2004, and it jumped back out at me in 2020 as we watched the movie under quarantine. The quote went like this: "The thing about trains, it doesn't matter where they're going. What matters is deciding to get on," unquote. At some point as a student athlete, you have to decide to get on the train, the recruiting train. The student athlete, like the hero boy in Polar Express, may not be 100% bought in on all the details as they step on the train. By getting on the train, the journey can begin. In episode 207, I covered the basics of each high school year, and this episode covered the freshman year. The first item I mentioned is the student athlete needs to talk about playing in college. The student athlete needs to step on the train. This is something the student athlete can do their freshman year or at any other time. You may not be ready your freshman year, but if you're playing sports and have since you were 7 years old, you probably have an idea. This is not set in stone, but saying it gets the process started. Once you are on the train, you can't just go to your seat and do nothing. Yes, you are going to end up somewhere, but is it going to be a surprise, or is it going to be a destination you want to be in? If you take a trip, you do research on the place that you are visiting, don't you? Isn't your trip going to be more enjoyable if you plan a little bit? When you vacation, you can save money and time with a little research. You shop for the best flights or the best highways to drive. You research your hotel and places to eat. A great example is a Disney trip. If you want to have breakfast with Mickey or a specific princess, you have to get online and make a reservation at midnight exactly 6 months before you want to eat those Mickey pancakes. When we took the family to Disney, we asked other families about their trips to Disney. We got hints on the best way to navigate the park, which rides to go to first, and the best places to eat and rest. My wife found a book that showed us cheats or hacks to help us on our visit to the most magical place on earth. If you're the type of family or student athlete that would spend time researching your Disney trip so you could save both money and time over a 3 or 4 day stint, then why wouldn't you start doing research on colleges? A magical place that the student athlete will spend 4 or 5 years and the family will spend $20,000 to $100,000. By the way, a Disney hint: always buy the fast pass and don't look at the people waiting in the regular lines. Just keep moving. Speaking of a fast pass, the Recruit Me 3.0 athletic scholarship system is a fast pass ticket to get you ahead in your recruiting process. Don't get stuck in the long line of other recruits. Get to the head of the line and meet and talk to college coaches. Let's get back on track. As you travel on the train, you see sights that you would never have seen. You experience things that you would have never experienced, and you learn lessons that you never would have learned. There will be people, coaches, new and old friends, new and old teammates, teachers, and fans that you will meet and learn from. Just like on the Polar Express, the kids, or in this case the student athlete, gets to learn from and experience from the journey. Adults help guide them. In recruiting, it cannot be one-sided with just the student athlete or the parents pulling all the strings. Recruiting is a family affair, but the student athlete must be the first to get on board. This is hard for a 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old high school student athlete to make this that important to them. There is a lot going on at those ages: school, girls, boys, pimples, hormones, just to name a few. What I'm afraid of for most student athletes is if they procrastinate getting started on the recruiting journey, or if they just wait for someone to pull them on the train, then the recruiting will be too hard and they will just give up. Raising your hand or getting on the train early is a start. Just like getting out of bed at 6 a.m. to go to the pool, the gym, or the track is a start to a workout. If you don't get out of bed for the workout, your improvement can't happen. Sometimes we procrastinate because we are afraid to fail, afraid of the unknown. So I'm saying to overcome these fears, you need to get on the Recruit Me train and get the tools that will keep you from failing and the tools that will educate you on how to get recruited and get a scholarship. Unlike in Polar Express, the train is not picking you up right outside your front door. You will have to make an effort to get on the knowledge train. So let's make an effort. If you are now in the middle of your 8th grade year, get on the train. Start getting educated on recruiting and learn that you have time on the recruiting journey. But the next year, your freshman year, your grades become important. You can also learn that coaches can't really contact you and that you are needing to just work on your game. If you are now in the middle of your freshman year of high school, get on the train. Make academics a priority. Get in the weight room. Start thinking about colleges and do research on them. Get ready for varsity or off-season competitive competition. If you are now in the middle of your sophomore year, get on the train. Concentrate on academics. Keep doing research on colleges. Get your introductory email ready. Start on videos. Work on your player profile. Keep working on your game. And work on your rest habits and nutrition. If you are now in the middle of your junior year and are just stepping on the train, then look back and see all the items you need to catch up on. Your junior year, pay attention to your ACT and SAT testing. Send emails and videos. Respond to coaches and set up visits to colleges. And oh yes, play your sport at a high level. You could even get on the train your senior year. You may have to board the bullet train, but it can be done. So the first step of any stage of high school: buy a ticket, go to the train station, and get on board. Check out the Athletic Scholarship Podcast sponsor, Cody Hanks, your friendly neighborhood realtor in Southwest Missouri. Contact Cody Hanks at 417-860-9160 or by email codyhanks@swmrealty.com. The last 10 episodes of 2020 had the 10 myths about athletic scholarships from the Recruit Me 3.0 athletic scholarship system. So to start 2021, I'm going to dip into Appendix C of the Recruit Me 3.0 system for frequently asked recruiting questions from student athletes and parents. So I hope you find this Q&A section helpful. Question: Do college coaches typically call the student athlete, or do they go through their high school coach? And which call carries more weight? Answer: coaches should initiate contact with the student, although many of them do some checking with your high school coaches. The first sign of interest comes when they ask you to complete their questionnaire or request a video link. The first contact is usually not by phone. In fact, NCAA rules state that, with most sports, coaches are not allowed to call until July 1st after your sophomore year. I would encourage you, though, to call coaches if they have responded within 3 weeks after you sent the initial letter or email and profile. You can call them at any time, and you can find out a lot of information that way. Taking the initiative is important. Recruit Me is proud to have an affiliation with the Midwest Mavericks Baseball Club in Springfield, Missouri. If you would like to see how Recruit Me can help your sports organization, any sport, anywhere, contact me at brent@recruit-me.com to see how. Coming up in the near future on the Athletic Scholarship Podcast will be an interview with a college volleyball, basketball, and soccer parent, that's one person, and an interview with the Director of Academic and Career Counseling for a Big 12 college. In another episode, we'll look into how a car's gas gauge is like the recruiting journey. See you next Tuesday on the Athletic Scholarship Podcast.